Hey, what's up? You are listening to Bonefish. It's a podcast about Animal Collective, indie rock, psychedelic music. And this is Christian.
Hi, I'm Justin.
And this evening, we're doing Campfire Songs.
Special campfire episode for the Campfire Songs.
Campfire pods. We're coming at you out of studio. We are not on a porch in Baltimore in November. We are on a porch in Pasadena in July.
Yeah, Pasadena, California.
That's right.
To clarify.
There is a Pasadena, Texas.
And it's summer. You hear the drone of the 210. Is that the 210?
That's the 210, right where it meets the 134 for all our freeway heads out there.
Yeah.
And yeah, we thought we'd do a special summary episode for the Campfire Songs album, which also turned 20 this year, or is turning 20 later this year-ish? I mean, what's the...
Yeah, I mean...
Came out in 2003.
But it was recorded in 2001.
Recorded in 2001.
I feel like there's no rules with this album. Like...
Yeah.
It's kind of...
It's the one-take wonder.
Yeah, it kind of just came out of nowhere in between, or like in the middle of their quote-unquote, I guess, New York noise era. And it wasn't even like an Animal Collective album. It was just Campfire Songs was the band in the album, right?
Yeah, Campfire Songs by Campfire Songs. And Dave mentioned it a little bit when we talked to him. He said he was... Which, it's weird to put this in the same era as kind of like Spirit, but it was recorded at least the year Spirit came out, right?
I think Spirit was 2000, right? Campfire was recorded the next year.
Right, okay.
But yeah, very close. Like I mean, this one always seemed like, just kind of out of place, but I mean, like a lot of their albums are pretty random, but for this era, I think of the band, I think if you were following the band in real time as they were coming up, this definitely was like a bit of a left turn.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I know this is sort of known as kind of like a pre-Sung Tongs. Like even Dave mentioned in our interview with him, he said like sort of the seeds of Sung Tongs kind of planted around this Campfire Songs era. And yeah, I would really love to know like what kind of inspired them to go for this acoustic only. I mean, there's a Panda Bear interview where he's like, we'd been wanting to do something for a while that was like warm and inviting, like a campfire, which, is pretty pretty off pace from the experimental noise of Arc and stuff that came pretty shortly after.
I think they were trying to record it for a while. There was a precursor to it, the song, I think it's a cover of the song Bleak Midwinter. Have you ever heard that? I think Geologist played it on his radio show.
Yeah, I heard. I listened to it. I found it on YouTube.
It's beautiful.
It's really good. I also read
that is a little more straightforward than like kind of the lo-fi field recordings of Campfire Songs. But
yeah. Also, the wiki page says that there was a like aborted Campfire Songs recording that happened in '99.
Yeah, I think
2 years before.
I think that Bleak Midwinter cover was part of it, maybe.
I'm glad they stuck with it. I'm glad even though they failed in '99, they tried again 2 years later. That's a lesson in sticking with your projects, sticking with your ideas. So yeah, they said they rehearsed it for like a month straight. They performed that show at the Tonic in New York as Campfire Songs.
Yeah, I wish there was a recording of that show.
That'd be incredible. Campfire Songs live.
There's some scattered
I mean, I
tracks.
guess Campfire Songs is live, but would have been cool to hear it, in a venue sort of setting.
There's some scattered Campfire Songs on that Animal Crackbox they released.
Oh, right. Okay.
Do you consider this... Well, I guess it's technically, Deacon, AV, and Panda Bear, right? And Geologist did the MIDI recording, but I kind of count it as all four because I feel like the field recordings on the album, they got to be Geo, right? That's got to be him doing that, and I feel like that's kind of that counts as like a full group effort. I'm counting it as a full group effort. Yeah,
I mean, there's a lot said about like this is the only Panda Bear, AV, and Deacon. This is the unique in that it's just that lineup. And I guess, if you take like a strict, okay, they're the ones playing the instruments, but Animal Collective's all about the sound and all about, he, from what I've read, he was, very involved in like the mic setup and placement and like you said, the field recordings and all that stuff.
I mean, I think he did that. I'm not sure. I haven't really checked to confirm that he himself was responsible for the field recordings, but I'm guessing if he mic'd them while they're playing, he also mic'd like the outside and all that stuff and was responsible for the ambient sounds.
Yeah. I mean, there's also some of like the field recording soundscapes that feel, I mean, I'm sure they were maybe triggered like live by Geo and the Thing, but like, I don't know, like on Moo Ra Ra Rain, it's like raining. There's no way it like actually started raining just when they happened to do that song, or at least it sounds like it.
Right, like he seemed like he was collecting field recordings.
Yeah,
he was really into
so maybe
that.
He just triggered those live, like while they were playing. Maybe,
or maybe
there's like thunderstorm hits later too that feel sort of intentional.
Yeah, maybe it was just post-production too. It was put in, but I mean, Prospect Hummer is technically Deacon, Panda, and AV as well, except for that one track, which is that Geo song, that ambient kind of.
Oh yeah, and then Vashti Bunyan, of course.
Yeah, the Vashti Bunyan EP. That one track's all Geologist, but anyway.
All that to say, it makes sense to retroactively sort of categorize it as an Animal Collective album.
Yeah.
Although I saw also, it's on the Wikipedia, they have like different names for this. Did you see that? I don't know. Maybe that was also like at the time, since they were Campfire Songs band, maybe they're like, oh, let's have like separate monikers for this. But it's all I'm getting this from is the Wikipedia page. But if you scroll down, it says like personnel, Avitaire as Dune, Panda Bear as Sia, and then Deacon as Sweet James.
Wow.
Who residents of Southern California will recognize as the attorney that's on all the billboards for like car accidents. Sweet James.
Deacon's a catastrophic injury attorney. So this album, was it reissued in 2003, or did it actually just come out in 2003? Like it didn't come out in 2001 at all, right?
Not to my knowledge,
like,
unless
first release was 2003, right?
I think so, yeah. Unless they did some sort of private, like CD only thing that could have been circulated. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think, I wonder why it took 2 years or how it sort of, maybe it's like, by 2000, Spirit was out.
Well, they had a label actually, so
yeah.
I don't know. It's a great album. I mean, like, it's probably like one of my, I'd put it in the top 10 of like Anco Universe releases, maybe.
Yeah.
In my top 10.
Had you spent a lot of time with it before preparing for this episode? I hadn't really. I mean, I definitely heard it in the past, but
yeah, I love it, man. I've listened to it a lot. Not so much recently, but yeah. What'd you think listening to it?
Yeah, I mean, it's great. It does feel like maybe more of like an artifact than sort of like a proper studio recording, which obviously it's not that. Yeah,
it feels like something that like was excavated or dug up after years and years and years,
Yeah, like when I'm listening to it, I find myself like riding the volume knob a little bit because, like, the beginning of some songs you're like, well, I can't hear it louder, and then later they're like strumming more intently, and you're like, oh shit, like turn it down a little bit, like the voices.
Yeah, it's definitely lo-fi.
Yeah,
the vocals are really low.
Yeah,
which I know that was kind of their thing, was they were really hesitant about mixing their vocals louder until really like Merriweather. But I like how it's all kind of...
well, they're pretty loud and like even feels compared to this. Their vocals are a lot more legible than this. That's kind of the one thing I wish. Like if they were to, it'd be cool if they revisited this record in some way, either like a live performance or some kind of remastered version. Because I'm not a huge lyrics guy either, but after listening to this album a bunch and then reading some of the lyrics,
there's some good ones.
There's some great ones, and I'm like, man,
really
I wish,
good.
Yeah, I feel like you catch some here and there while you're listening, but
DeSoto de Sun has some great lyrics.
Yeah, man.
Probably, smell the bodies of our elders and wake up to the Milky Way at breakfast.
Yeah, I wrote down the Milky Way line too. I love that one.
Yeah, it's just, I feel like that just speaks to like the ancientness of nature, and I always like those lines.
Yeah, I love that line too, waking up to the Milky Way, because that song DeSoto de Sun sort of feels like kind of like a warm sunrise, maybe after like a dark night of camping.
That's kind of how I feel like the album is structured, like, because the tracks before that, it seems like it kind of gets heavy. It feels like it could be nighttime, kind of disorientating,
Yeah.
And then you start hearing like birds chirping when DeSoto comes on.
Yeah. Well, maybe we should go in order instead of starting with the last last track. We could like go through.
Whatever.
But yeah, no, I totally feel you on that. And it does have the like, it's definitely the most sort of immediately catchy song. Definitely sort of the brightest. So it totally has that those kind of sunrise vibes. But yeah, let's fire's getting a little low. Let me toss another log on. It's burning fast.
Throw a couple logs on.
And we're back.
So Campfire Songs. If you haven't spent a lot of time with it, it's worth your time. The music is exactly in the title. They're trying to conjure just the feeling of staring into an endless flame. And I think they did it.
They did.
And how patterns never really emerge. How, like, there's so many different kinds of flames,
Damn.
It's truly psychedelic, man. Anyway,
I before we get into like going track by track, I did want to shout out a YouTube recording of their set at Other Music. You listen to that?
Oh, is that Sungtong's era?
Well, it is, yeah. So it's Sungtong's era, but
I love that one.
I feel like it's sort of spiritually akin to Campfire Songs.
For sure.
Because it's sort of like it's a live performance. They basically do it kind of straight through.
Yeah.
And it's purely acoustic / environmental. Like, instead of in the Maryland countryside, they're like, you hear like New York street sounds outside, kind of like while they're playing. They do this song called A Happy Singing Band.
I love that.
Which is so good.
Yeah. We're a happy singing band. We're a happy singing band. Just the folks who with us stand. Tickets in there. Kiss the girls and kiss the man.
Yeah, it's like, man, just to have seen one of those shows would have just been unreal.
Yeah, I've spent time with that set. Yeah, I'll listen to it in the summertime. I feel like summertime is always Animal Collective time, but especially their acoustic stuff. But yeah, that Other Music show definitely check that out if you love sung-tongs.
It's also just AV
YouTube.
Panda and Deacon, right? So it sort of also has Campfire Songs.
Yeah, Deacon joined them.
There.
Yeah, they do Baby Day. Did you ever hear that one?
I think so. I listened to all of it through earlier this week, yeah.
They do, I think, not one but two Nirvana covers, On a Plane and what's the other one? I'm pretty sure they do two Nirvana covers.
Nice.
Or at least during that era they did two.
That's tight.
And then, some like kind of other like untitled segue songs that are really cool.
Even the warm-up song. They have one, the first thing's just warm-up song, and they're just doing kind of like free vocalization, strumming, and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to know, again, just like what records Dave and Noah were listening to at the time, or what drew them to this kind of palette. It's very interesting. Maybe next time we chat with one of them.
I have some theories.
Oh, yeah?
Well, I think they were definitely, or at least Dave, or I feel like they were into like Vashti Bunyan.
Okay.
Like, I think they like maybe discovered that record, and I want to say they, at least Dave maybe was definitely into like the Beach Boys Smiley Smile.
Yeah, okay.
Have you ever listened to that?
Yeah, vegetables and all that. I'm gonna eat that.
Yeah.
My vegetables.
Not the Smile one that was unreleased for a long time.
Oh, okay.
But it's even weirder than that. It's the version that became Smile that was released at the time in 1967, and it's like kind of a half-assed, mostly kind of acoustic album. It's kind of actually very similar to Sung Tongs. Like, for me, that's like the weirdest Beach Boys album.
Okay.
Smiley Smile. They sound all like really fucking stoned on it.
Cool.
I don't see how Dave or Noah were not listening to that shit this time. But that's just my guess. I don't know. Obviously, they've gotten a lot of the Beach Boy comparisons, and but maybe they just wanted to. It was just kind of a response to being in a city.
Totally, yeah. I feel like, too, I like the Beach Boys shout because you can hear, even on some of, like, Panda's singing on, like, Doggy, kind of, like, descending little melodic lines he does. Very Beach Boys-esque.
Some of the best Panda Bear singing ever.
So he kind of just starts singing on this, right? Like, it's sort of, this is kind of the first...
In the track one?
Time we hear his voice in, like, an Animal Collective setting. I mean, he's in one, but I feel like Doggy, you kind of hear him singing sort of alone, or you know,
it's hard
to decipher at times, but
it's hard to tell who's who when they're just kind of vocal harmonizing, especially in like Queen of My Pictures, when they're kind of just feeling each other out. I don't know who's who. I don't know.
Yeah, well, let's get into Queen. I mean, let's start with the first track. It's very sort of. I mean, I kind of imagine it as like the campfire is starting, you know? It's getting the kindling going, getting warm, sort of like a kind of sound bath vibes with just the sort of acoustic wall of strumming, and then
the build-up
singing
is really good. The way they're able to like build tension with just their voices and acoustic guitars.
Yeah.
Is so cool.
It's cool too because it's like the like pure acoustic, pure liveness of it. I feel like makes when you're thinking about that while you're listening, it's even more impressive because it's almost like they're kind of mimicking like electronic effects, like simple electronic effects like delays and stuff, but just the way they're like playing guitar off each other, it feels like more than just acoustic instruments live. Like it feels sort of more layered and stuff.
Definitely. Like even when they're playing in the most organic sense, they're still kind of operating like on a grid or like as if they're like operating samplers. And I guess we should say this was all done in one take. This album was
one take wonder.
One take. What is it? 40 minutes long, or something like that. Yeah. I think it's around 40 minutes.
Yeah. I feel like the lyrics are like least decipherable on Queen in My Pictures. Like,
Yeah, I have no
really
idea what
tell
what they're saying.
But yeah, but the transition to Doggy is really cool. I'll just read this quote from Noah, and this is just right off the wiki. But he said, we had the idea of doing something really warm and inviting sounding for a while, like 3 or 4 years at least. We wanted it to sound like a campfire feels, and I think that also made us think of campfire songs that you sing with a bunch of people and everybody gets connected and feels good and safe. It really wasn't spontaneous or improvised. We worked for a month or so to get it just right, like the transition between songs. I still think Queen of My Pictures into Doggy is one of the best things we've done together. Noted he says this in 2005, so he probably, who knows what he thinks now, but I was really excited about my singing on Campfire Songs, I guess because I felt like I was doing things that were difficult for me to do. So it's cool picturing him, like, doing this record as, like, kind of challenging himself with this singing as something maybe he didn't know he could do this well.
Yeah.
And sort of rising to meet the occasion. Because that's the other thing, like, with this live record, like, to sound as good as they do vocally, it's tough to do. Like, it's, I don't know, obviously it's not super polished, it's rough around the edges, but it's
that's why it's like one of my,
you can tell the rehearsals really paid off. It's definitely like a very worked through performance.
Yeah, most people would think like they're just kind of doing whatever, just kind of noodling, but they're not. It's learned, it's practiced,
super intentional.
Yeah. The transition from track 1 to 2, Doggy, is great. Some of their like best transitions still, I think, maybe in terms of like what's been recorded,
Totally.
Like recorded albums. It's one of their I think it's like one of their best.
Yeah. Also just impressive again that they're able to nail those transitions without like, a drummer clicking his sticks together. Like they're all just, they're playing like very trebly acoustic instruments and,
Yeah.
Cool.
That is really cool. They just kind of develop their own musical language and way to trust each other, and very symbiotic.
Yeah.
And Doggy, yeah.
Yeah, Noah's definitely singing in Queen, but I feel, at least when I listen to Doggy, that's when I'm like, oh, that's a Noah voice right there alone.
Yeah, Dave's singing the verses and then Noah's
right.
doing the kind of background vocals. Yeah, they're so good, man.
Spiritual sister to Derek, perhaps,
yeah.
Tribute to fallen canine companions.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a good maybe that's a Spotify playlist we work on, is like songs in tribute to your pet. Has that been made yet?
Songs in tribute to what?
To your pet.
Oh, yeah.
Deceased or otherwise.
Yeah, that'd be a good playlist.
But yeah, this, for some reason, when I was listening to this song, I wrote down the words house show. Like, it sort of felt like that kind of intimate vibe of like, it's soft, it's fuzzy around the edges. It feels like you're like in the room with them. And then again, there's just those like live dynamics where it's like, it's not super compressed or anything. It's not like the levels have been treated to like make it a more even listening experience. Like, it's pretty raw.
Yeah.
And then that those Panda Vokes, the descending harmony is so pretty. Doggy's also one they've brought into future live sets, right? They've like readapted that.
I think just during Merriweather, I think it was Doggy into Haylight.
Okay.
Which is really cool.
Yeah.
Actually, I think...
Gotta check that out.
I think the beginning of, like, the Merriweather era, the first show, right before they started playing, I think Dave goes like, this one's for Josh, and they go into Doggy.
Nice. Josh Dibb.
A.K.A. Deacon.
The Deeks.
Because he sat out that era.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like we're thinking about you, buddy.
Man, yeah. I feel like that's a whole episode right there, is Deacons sitting out Merriweather. Pretty curious about that.
We're gonna save that for another time. Doggy, great fucking song.
Absolutely. Got some helicopter action approaching. 2 Corvettes. 2 Corvettes and 1 helicopter. Yeah, so Justin and I are both mic'd up, and then we have the campfire also mic'd up, so we're periodically just checking that it's not melting during recording. But yeah, 2 Corvettes is cool. I feel like nature really kind of comes to the fore on this track. Probably just because it like starts quieter. There's like that, kind of softly picked acoustic guitars, but you can really hear those crickets coming through. Sounds really beautiful to hear those mixed. And then, yeah, we have the sort of midway through the free time kind of violent strums.
Yeah.
That give it a cool mood shift. The Corvettes crash, I guess, in that section.
Oh, is that what they did there?
Well, so that's the thing. I never would have thought that unless I had looked up the lyrics. The
Corvettes crash?
I mean, it's one interpretation, I guess. It definitely makes it a pretty
I wasn't sure if that was the lyric
conceptual
also.
song.
Okay.
I think part of the lyrics imply a collision.
Wow.
I think the 2 Corvettes, yeah.
It's dark.
I think those violent sort of free time strums that come in are like the crash. Maybe. It's getting darker and darker. I can't even really see you anymore, even though you're 6 feet away from me.
Yeah, I feel like this one's serves a purpose. Some good.
What do you mean serves a purpose?
It's not like a song like Doggy or DeSoto, It's
okay.
Kind of I wouldn't say an interlude, but yeah, things are happening, things are changing,
Yeah, things are crashing.
It's a little more abstract, yeah.
So maybe like a low light on the record for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next up, Moo-Rah.
Moo-Rah Rain.
Moo-Rah Rain. The pants in the beginning. It reminded me of Midsommar. I just watched that for the first time.
Ooh, for the first time.
Yeah, the little like inhale they do periodically.
Yeah. What'd you think?
Bro, it's incredible.
It's so good, right?
What shocked me was Anna, my wife, loved it. She's not like a horror person at all, but she was like...
My spouse hated it.
She was enchanted by it, did she?
Yeah.
Kristen.
Yeah.
There's some Midsommar ties with Campfire Songs. Very natural settings.
Yeah, it's got culty vibes. This music sounds like what being in a trance might be like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're sitting with the medicine man by the fire.
Yeah, maybe you feel like breaking into a house and killing everybody who lives inside and scrawling some words on the wall in blood,
Okay,
just kidding, guys. Yeah.
I love the guitar sounds in this song. I'm wondering how they're achieving that. Is it sort of sounds like maybe like a resonator guitar?
Oh, yeah,
like ding ding ding. It's like...
Oh, the kind of the high pitch. Isn't that an auto harp? No.
I don't know. it's definitely like a strummed instrument, but it's like going through almost like a really slow, like wah kind of. It's very metallic.
Yeah. I wonder what that is. I want to say auto harp, but I don't think so. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm failing as the
cool sounds
instrument head.
Cool
Sweet sounds. I feel like it's a great point in the album too to introduce kind of like this new texture with definitely sort of like a resonator-esque feeling. Resonator, it's like those old fully metal guitars that have a particular Bonefish played a couple of those on For Emma, I think.
Yeah, I love it's a cool guitar. I don't know how they did that. It's magic, man. It's just magic.
And then DeSoto to Sun. I feel like we're blazing through these songs, but it's I don't know. You just kind of have to experience this album. It's hard to talk too much about.
Yeah.
In depth. But
well, this is a big one. I feel like
DeSoto's the banger, right? That's.
I can't believe they haven't brought this one back.
I know, man. Imagine them dropping this in a live set.
Oh, dude.
Like,
heads would roll. you know? People would pass out.
What a beautiful song. It's almost like, I don't know, I'm hesitant to say this, but there's almost like kind of Sufjan vibes.
Yeah, it's like...
Oh, you didn't like that?
No, like, I know what you're getting at, and I'm trying to find the right words for this song and just kind of this album in general.
I know, I feel like I'm sort of grasping too. I mean, I say Sufjan because it's like, it's maybe just, it's like happier. It doesn't super sound, like his melodies are more like complex.
That's interesting that this song sounds happy to you. To me, I don't know if that's the first word that's always come to mind.
No.
It's not happy, it's not dark. I don't know. It's like persevering or something, or like monastic or something. Like
there's hope. Let's say that. Saying it's happy is definitely painting with too broad a brush, but there's some sort of hopefulness or
yeah. I mean,
but definitely tinged with pathos. I mean, it's not a quote unquote happy song. Yeah, not at all. But I don't know. Not that you would call Sufjan's music quote unquote happy either. It definitely has that mix of bittersweetness. Not that, I mean, I'll stop saying that. I think comparisons don't go very far.
No,
but
I mean, I think the similarity is like a certain like sense of calm almost in like this song and his music. Like I said before, like monastic, like, you know, kind of very spiritual almost. I mean, I just picture like being in nature, having nothing, and that being enough, you know, like, and this is how it's always been. This is how it will always be. A sort of like feeling of like a utopia. I don't know. This song, like, it's always giving me kind of like a crazy feeling. I don't know.
Yeah, man. I mean, start off with that, like, you know, the arpeggiated kind of like picking, and then when those second guitars come in, like 1 minute in, it's like breathtakingly beautiful. It's so pretty.
Yeah, when they start singing together, I mean, they sound like they're like in a trance, or like angels, or like, I don't know. Yeah, maybe they're, I don't know. But something very, very divorced from like modern society.
Yeah.
Is the vibe I get.
Yeah. Something ancient. Got a cool structure with, it's sort of bookended by the first part, I guess. There's that middle section around 5 minutes. There's sort of like a mood shift. You hear the title in the lyrics, he says, and then there's like some thunderstorm that I'm assuming is sort of piped in live.
I'm gonna read you a lyric that has always stuck out to me. It goes, "Color people say oh no, 'cause they think it's contagious. Marshmallow people say oh yeah, 'cause they think it's a masterpiece." And I've always really liked that line.
Yeah.
I feel like it really sums up a lot about like perspective, two different types of people looking at one thing and coming away with different takeaways. Or
so pretty when they sing that.
Yeah.
It's color people. I always thought it was like other people or something. But there's official lyrics for this, right? Didn't they release lyrics?
Yeah, I think it's one of the only official lyric releases. I just Googled it. Let's see.
Okay. I mean, I'll take your word for it. But yeah, I love those lines as well.
Yeah, probably one of my favorite Animal Collective lyrics, and they have some great ones.
Yeah, I mean, just the delivery of those lines too really hits you. It's probably the closest to a chorus this record has. Are those lines? I would say.
Yeah, for sure.
This is also from Genius. Who knows how valid this is, but this was sort of a note at the bottom of De Soto de Sun. It says, Hernando de Soto was a Spanish explorer who led the first Spanish expedition deeper into the North American mainland, being the first explorer to cross the Mississippi. This song is about a Native American perspective on the expedition into their homeland.
Yeah,
So,
I could totally see that.
the veracity of that, who can say, but I mean, it definitely resonates with some of the themes you were talking on, you know, two sort of cultures, two different perspectives kind of meeting, and the friction there and the differences, I guess.
Yeah, like, you know, European conquest, Western conquest, obviously indigenous peoples comes to mind. Bringing new disease, violence, all that shit. It kind of this also reminds me. I mean, the whole album. Do you ever see the movie Apocalypto, Mel Gibson's movie?
I haven't, but I know it's like the Inca. Isn't it about the Incans?
I think so.
Yeah, one of the indigenous.
one of those.
Maybe the Mayans.
One of those tribes.
Yeah.
And I think the very end of that movie, the white man shows up.
Fuck.
Yeah, but that movie's just wild, man. That, like, I could definitely like hear their music being mixed with that. Like, I think it'd be a good soundtrack. You know.
Nice. Yeah. No, I've never seen it.
Like somebody should get really high. Maybe it'll be us. And instead of, you know, sinking Dark Side of the Moon to Wizard of Oz, we're gonna fucking sing Campfire Songs to Apocalypto, or like Ark to Apocalypto.
Didn't know you were such a Mel Gibson head.
I'm not even. I just always liked that movie.
I'm just messing with you. I gotta check it out. I'll add it to my summer watch list.
Yeah, I want to rewatch it too. It's been a long time. It's pretty violent.
Tight.
But, like, damn, dude, like, yeah, he made that film.
He did that.
Yeah, so.
Campfire Songs. Any thoughts in summary?
In summary?
Yeah.
I think it's cool that they're able to make acoustic music that sounds psychedelic. I feel like that's really awesome and hard to do. And, like, before them, I never really thought, like, you can be psychedelic or trippy or experimental with just your voice and acoustic guitars.
Yeah.
And they fucking changed my mind.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I think, the unadornedness of this recording, and I guess by unadorned I just mean, like, lack of traditional, you know, effects and the bells and whistles you usually associate with music of this type. It's really cool. I'm really glad that this was released. Also cool to see this as, like, the springboard for, you know, like, song-tongs. Like, okay, we did the straight up raw, no tricks recording. Now let's
refine
add
it.
Add some overdubs, add some more experimentation to that.
Yeah, I wonder if they'll ever go back to making new music like this. I mean, they got close to it when they retoured Song Tongs, but
right. Well,
I wonder if they'll ever.
I sort of thought Buoys would kind of be that. It ended up, once it was out, being a little bit different, but before Buoys was out, and there was, like, they were doing the Song Tongs tour.
Eucalyptus too is kind of
starting to do live
acoustic-y.
shows. I was like, oh, maybe this is going to be like Sola Panda Bear, like Song Tongs.
Yeah, Eucalyptus too a little bit. It was like that.
Yeah. It's true.
Where would you rank this album amongst Animal Collective releases?
I gotta get better at preparing for that shit. I'm really bad at lists.
It's so much
hard
fun
for me to rank stuff.
Yeah, we got to do a top 10 episode.
Yeah, give me a little more prep time and I'll have it figured out. But yeah, I don't know where this ranks. I feel like I have a resistance to sort of numerical but I also realize that
Yeah,
if I'm doing a podcast, I need to take a fucking stance.
it's, you know...
Because it's not interesting to hear someone be like, I don't know. But yeah, no, I mean, it's beautiful. I mean, you said top 10? I'll put it in my top 10 for sure.
Well, I think, I mean...
Some critters.
They only have, like, what, 11 albums? Or not only, but they have, like, as a band, they have, what, 12 albums? 11 or 12? Not including EPs, I'd say. So I guess it wouldn't be hard to put it in your top 10.
Yeah. But including, like, all releases.
The universe? Like, including solo, too, or no? Or just all Anco releases, including EPs?
Yeah, maybe that should be our barometer. Although... Well, I feel like we'll talk about the EPs and stuff, all the solo.
Yeah.
So maybe it should be within all.
I mean, I really like this album. I always have. It's just fun to, like, go on a hike and listen to it.
Yeah.
It's summertime. It's time to listen to Animal Collective.
Yeah.
Definitely listen to this at night.
One with nature.
Listen to this album while the world burns.
While we just wander into the hillsides. While we just fall into the campfire of our own making. Oh. Great
Ooh.
timing.
Ooh. Ooh, crickets.
Now it's a Campfire Songs episode. Crickets have arrived. Sick, dude. You been listening to anything cool recently?
I've been listening to the new Julie Byrne album.
I've heard that's really good.
Yeah, I really liked her 2017 album a lot. It's, like, become one of my favorites over the past few years.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not really up on her.
Yeah, she's awesome. I think I saw her, like, 3 times in the span of, like, 6 months out here or something. Or
Tight. Someone's got a crush.
I mean, definitely one of the better, like, one of the best shows I think I've seen out in LA.
Oh, shit.
I'd say.
All right. That's an endorsement.
The new one, though, I just hasn't really clicked. I don't know.
Okay.
But I'm going to keep trying.
Nice. I'll check it out.
How about you? What are you consuming?
Well, I told you I've been listening to your psychedelia playlist.
Thanks, pal.
Some great finds on there. Yeah, the King Brit record is pretty sick.
Yeah.
I did a re-listen through of the first Mars Volta album.
Wow.
The other day on a bike ride, which also just hit its 20-year. And man, that thing still fucking rips. So good.
Nice.
It brought me back. Yeah, I mean, I have so many, like, nostalgic memories of that. Like, yeah, man. It's funny. It reminded me of, like, Dark Side at points. I mean, they're super, super jam bands. Very, like, kind of proggy, but...
Uh-huh.
Man, just gets your blood fucking pumping. So, yeah, any Mars Volta heads out there, give that thing a spin for its 20th birthday.
Hell yeah. Music. We love it.
We love it. Well, the flames are dwindling. I don't think our other mic is melted, so I think it's a success.
Cool.
Yeah, you feel good?
Yeah. Oh, we forgot about the sonic boom thing.
The what?
The sonic boom thing was last night, right?
Yeah.